smart is your meeting room? Here's a solution that will turn your meeting room into a high-tech system. Dozens of times faster than Wi-Fi. A meeting room needs a screen for presentations. To connect a screen, you need many types of very long cable. It's costly, needs outsourcing, and is hard to repair when failure occurs. Mirroring devices using Wi-Fi have emerged recently, but technical delays and network errors often occur. Here's a stable, innovative solution that will make your meeting room smart. V-JET. From any device to any display. Plug and play. Zero delay. A stable, peerless communication technology system. Dozens of times faster than Wi-Fi. Mirroring. With V-JET, transmitters communicate directly with receivers, and perfect mirroring without any delay is supported. V-JET also supports both iOS and Android operating systems, and all devices including laptops, tablets, and smart devices. From screen sharing and presentations to video meetings and games, the applications are diverse and useful. Screen sharing will make communication at home even more enjoyable. Experience even more joy of sharing with your family and friends. We'll aid your communication. We'll support your company's business success through V-JET. From any device to any display, plug and play, zero delay.
My name is Rubidium. Today we are looking at a new HDMI transmitter from WISEJET. It is not an on-camera transmitter, but more a HDMI extender. So it's two boxes, a receiver and a transmitter, that plug into the wall and transmit an HDMI signal up to 200 feet. Because they're larger and they have two antennas, the range is a lot better than the on-camera units. I guess the main use is to broadcast a signal from a laptop to a television or from an AV desk to a display, but I've been using them to do some interesting stuff on set. The video village or the director's monitor tends to get packed up pretty quickly because obviously everyone on set wants to know what you're shooting. But this isn't always a great thing because it means that the people that actually need to see the feed, me and the client, sometimes get pushed out by the 15 other people that want to see what's going on. So what I've been using these units to do is plug into the director's monitor, my 17-inch TV logic, and then use these to broadcast to a television that's in the green room or 200 feet away if preferable, so that everyone who's not actually shooting but wants to see what the camera feed is can sort of sit around a couch and kind of congregate somewhere that's not in my way or the way of the people who are actually working on the shot that's happening right now. These units have some interesting features. They have a locking power mechanism so that you don't accidentally unplug them. They have, like I said, two antennas, so the signal strength is pretty strong. I can get it from my studio all the way to my house onto my television. So for instance, if I was doing a shoot in the studio and I wanted to stage in my living room and have people watch the feed from my director's monitor, I could do that without, and they wouldn't need to be blocking out the light or kind of wrapping up the doorway. It's more or less instantaneous, but you're probably not going to be using it to pull focus. And it replaces what you're probably using those fingerstick little transmitters that need US power to do with a much more highly powered, better antennaed, basically more resilient signal and unit. So that's my look at the WISEJET wireless transmitter. I got a couple of these.
WHD 330K 1080p HDMI sender and receiver kit. This product was designed to make it very easy for you to share any HDMI media source with a second location up to 100 meters or 330 feet away over a wireless connection in full HD quality. The product also employs the very latest in 5G transmission technology to minimize interference and guarantee the best possible picture. Also included with the kit are a set of infrared blasters that will pick up the remote control signals at that second location, transmit those back to the primary location to allow you to control the content you're watching. So let's get started with the unboxing. Inside the box, you'll find the transmitter module, the receiver module, a pair of antennas for both of those modules, 2 power supplies, 1 for each of the modules, a set of brackets you can use to mount the modules up off the ground to the bottom of a desk or a wall nearby, and the infrared blasters are included as well. These are used to transmit that remote control signal from the secondary location back to the primary. There's a receiver and a transmitter over here. And then finally, a full instruction manual that gives you all the information you'll need to install the equipment at home. The OREI WHD 330K works great with all modern media devices, including laptops, streaming devices like Apple TV, home surveillance systems, game consoles, and DVD players. The product supports full HD 1080p 60Hz content. It is both HDMI 1.3 and HDCP 1.2 compliant. The sender module provides local loopback of media content, and the kit also includes a set of IR blasters to enable remote control of the media being played. Included with the kit is a sender module, a receiver module, a pair of antenna, 1 set for each of the modules, and these are simply threaded onto the antenna studs in the back of each of the modules. 2 power supplies. These are standard DC 5-volt power supplies. This end plugs into the wall. The other end has a barrel connection on it that plugs into the back of the module, and that's all the power you'll need to operate the product. Also included is a pair of brackets that can be used to mount these in a convenient location, and a pair of infrared blasters that are a little bit different. There's a receiver and a transmitter, and they're labeled infrared in and infrared out, and it's important you plug this one into the receiver and this one into the transmitter. Finally, there's a full instruction manual that lists all the information you'll need to know on how to install the product once you get it home. There are diagrams for connections and all kinds of information about what audio and video standards the product can support. Both modules were designed with full metal enclosures to prevent any outside interference from causing issues with the sensitive transmission technologies inside. On the sides of the modules, you'll find holes that can be used with the included mounting kit. And even though both modules look fairly similar in their design, there are slight differences with the connections you'll make to the sender module and the receiver module, and I'll cover those now. On the front of the sender module, you'll find a single reset button that can be used if needed to reset the module and re-establish communication with the receiver. On the rear of the module, you'll find 2 antenna mounting studs. These are used with the included antennas. You'll thread those antennas on here just finger tight. On the left is a DC 5-volt connection. That's used with the included power supply. You'll plug it into the wall, the barrel connection plugs in here, and that's all the power you'll need for the module. There are also 2 HDMI connections, input and output. The input connection is connected directly to whatever media device you'd like to share with the secondary location. Could be a DVD player or a game console. You'll plug that in here. To the right of that's an output connection. This module features a local loopback function where you can actually watch that media content you're transmitting to the secondary location by plugging a monitor in right there. There are 2 LED indicators between those HDMI connections. The one on the left indicates that you've got a valid input source, so when you plug that into whatever media device you'd like to transmit to the second location, that will light up. The second is a transmission indicator. The minute both of the modules are powered up and they're connected, that will light up. To the right of that is an infrared out port, and that's used with the IR blaster pair, and it's really important you use the module from that IR blaster pair that's labeled infrared out. Now let's take a look at the receiver. Again, on the front of the module, you've got a reset button just like you did on the sender. On the rear, 2 antenna studs, again used with the pair of antennas finger tight. DC power supply plugs in there. 2 indicators to the right of that, 2 LED indicators. This lets you know you've got a valid transmission connection between the 2. And this indicator lets you know you've made a solid connection between the HDMI output port, which is located to the right of it, and the monitor you're going to use at that secondary location. And then finally, the infrared in port that's used with the other module in that infrared blaster pair. You'll plug that in there, and again, make sure it's labeled infrared in.
lights. Look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's